in that cave, it's the things I saw inside there those 3 days, like the spirits, Lucifer, the demons, could come and talk to me. Serpents could come into my body. All kinds of things were done on my body. So it was in being initiated into deep occultism and witchcraft, like every part of my body. Now, that's the first time I am knowing about the snake, which now Mama to tell me which came at birth. I remember it came around me, coiled around me in the cave and entered my body.
Wait, physically or spiritually?
Physically. And all my life until I got born again, it lived in my body. I could know when it's moving. I could know, like, you could tell something is moving in the body. It's like now the spirit in this snake took over and now it could control me. Now, from that time on, say this, until the day I got born again, all my life I was in pain. There's no day I remember I was not in pain until the day I gave my life to Jesus for 24 years. Every day, that pain was there in my body. All because that thing had to keep me in pain in order to use me. Because if Satan controls you through pain, because it has to manipulate you to control you. So it had to keep in my body. I could not eat well. I could not live well. So the only way I could avoid pain is to be drinking. So I began drinking, drink alcohol, and I became addicted to alcohol because that's the only way I could now kill
numb
that pain.
Numb the pain. So that's a powerful thing you said. Satan controls you through pain. There's so many people that, have come into the trap of the enemy because of bitterness and all sorts of things that have happened in their past that have not been resolved through the cross and accepting Jesus. In fact, they may have accepted Jesus, but they've not allowed him to bring healing and they've not forgiven. But that's an access point for control of the enemy.
Yeah, because it controls the pain. And also, you can give your life to Jesus Christ, but you need, first of all, deliverance, and you need also healing to restore your soul. Because if you've given yourself to the enemy, the first thing he'll fragment your soul and keep all different parts of your soul in different prisons. The bitterness, anger, unforgiveness, guilt, hatred, traumas, all these. Now, each one of them is like a print on your life and now has given you a false identity and personality, which is not you. So you have the identity and the personality of the demons that are now residing in those pits where the pain is. So I have the pain. I hate my mother and I hate everyone. I don't know my father. So the enemy, every time is to use me, is to remind me the humans are bad. You have to kill them. You have to do this. They are evil. They are bad. They hate you. I don't have, remember, there's no emotional attachment. Because as a child is growing up, the love you get from your parents is what now grows in you. So now, because there was not that, emotionally, I didn't have I was emotionally trapped. I didn't understand what's love, what's fear. I never cried. I never laughed.
Wow.
Because I didn't understand this. You see?
So now you go through this deep ritual. 3 days is completed. You come out. And what happens? People are worshiping you.
When I come out, what surprised me, hundreds of people are waiting for me. So they come out and they're worshiping. Like I'm like a god. They're bowing and worshiping.
And you're 4 years old.
I'm 4 years old. Wow. So I said, what's going on? Now my mother has no access to me, has no authority over me. Because now, that's when I know. Now I have been initiated and ordained as a witch. So from that time, there's a part of me that's human. I want to be a child. But then the people treat me like a power. You want to play, but no one comes next to you. First of all, no parent will allow their child to come near you. You see? 2, you're busy. People could come every day and night for help to get powers, to get what. Then some of them are as old. One of the things that I so painful, even I remember right now and read it. It had a lot of the people as older than my mother could come and they have to undress to be naked before me, women, and then you have to give them powers. Now, if a 4-year-old you're exposed to such, that affects your life, and even today, it affected my life until Jesus healed me. You're seeing naked women and naked men you are a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, that affects the way you look at people, the way you think, so what Satan does is to abuse, you see, when people abuse children, people think it's just lust. Sometimes it's initiation. They're initiating them when they expose them to pornography, when they expose them to all these things, like men and who abuse children. And in my ministry, I found that many people who are struggling to be healed and delivered, it happened, their exposure was in childhood, between 1 and 6. Those who were sexual abuse, those who were molested by teachers, parents, siblings, and all. And it is a gate the enemy uses to trap the soul. So mine was trapped. The killing of my uncle, trauma, trapped me.
Yeah.
Then the betrayal of my mom trapped me. But then the years of being exposed to such things, like women and men come to you every day, have to undress, sit naked before you.
So at this point, where are you living? Are you just living in the forest somewhere? Are you with your mom still?
And now the home where I'm living, my father left. It's like now a hospital. It's like
oh, so at this point you go back home and lots of people are now visiting your house
because the other woman, her powers have been transferred now. So they know where they call me the baby. They call me the baby witch, where the baby witch is. So they can come for powers, for what and what. And I will say this, sometimes I fear to say, but I will say, even some people in church circles could come to pastors and bishops. Some of them could come to me for powers in their so-called ministries. And so when I got born again, the Lord, actually the Lord led me to most of them who are still alive and could say, you remember what you are doing, and you need to confess it, to repent and turn away. And many could say, I have the name, the big congregation. I can't. People will run away from me. And I tell you, I'm going to expose you. But the Lord told me now, expose them will not help.
You said you told them you were going to expose them.
I'm going to expose them. But the Lord told me exposing them will not help. What will help is them to repent. But for years I feared. I knew how dangerous it was until 2016 when I shared my testimony. I had never shared my testimony until 20. What you heard, it was my first time sharing my life story.
Yeah. So just for a break in the story here. So I got you the testimony you shared. African. I got it maybe somewhere around 2017. Someone was there that heard the testimony and then gave me the CD, and I've lost it now, but I remember being so marked, not by this part of the story, but there's some
where we're going.
And it was connected with intercessory prayer. I was so marked. And then as God will have you, I knew someone that knew you. And then they connected us, and here we are today. But this is just incredible to just hear how you were so deep in the occult and how you were helping even men who were serving God, in quotes, but using demonic powers at 4, at 5. The wisdom you were dispensing to them, was it just flowing through you without you even aware where you got it from?
I don't know where it was coming from.
So you're just giving instructions and directions, and
because at that time when I left that place, that cave, the spirit world and the natural world could be before me 24 hours. I could see them like I'm looking at you. So I could know people's past. I could know where they're coming from. And I could know what is done in secret. I could know who will be the leader, who will be the president, what will be done, who needs to, and all that. So everything was bare. I could see. In fact, it's when I got born again that the Lord cut that because it was not God.
Yeah.
He had to cut that. And many people, when they get born again, who have been the occult, they don't want to let go that. So they confess Jesus, but still
hold on to those powers.
Because the powers, they have their advantages and what they think advantages. So the Lord had to lead me into years of deliverance to cut off that.
Now we're gonna touch the deliverance at some point, because that's a huge thing. Because many Christians don't believe deliverance is something that you need to have as a Christian. We'll deal with that later. So at this point, you're 6, you're 7, you're 8.
So I am 6, I am 4. Now I'm doing that. When I'm 7, I am made a territorial witch.
Explain to us what that means.
In the occult, the king of darkness, it's about territories, as the church should have been. Now, each one has a territory. And in that territory, you have like maybe 5,000 or 7,000 witches in a certain territory who are submitting to your powers and to your altars. So you are like in charge of a territory. So I was in charge of southern Uganda and northern Tanzania. So like that was a region which is called the Kagera Katonga region. Kagera is a river. So they divide the nations by rivers or by mountains. So say from this river to this river is your territory. So I'm made in charge of that territory when I'm 7, the youngest.
7.
When I was 7.
And did you say you were in charge of 5,000 witches?
Over 7,000.
Over 7,000 witches.
Over 7,000. And I was made that as a 7 years. When I was 7 years. So, and, when you are made territorial, leader in the territory, your first assignment is to destroy the one you're taking over from.
Wow.
So you have to destroy and kill all his priests and his witches, destroy everything, even him, for you to do that.
So was that like your first act of murder, so to speak?
Yes, the first assignment, because the kingdom of darkness is about destroying. The devil came to kill, destroy, and rob. So you destroy others for you to reign. So the one who is in charge knows if another one is coming, they're coming to fight and kill. So there's that destroying. So I take over the territories and they say this, I remember they would say, this boy is wicked. Others, like they had that human side of them, like pity and love, though they were in witchcraft. But now me, who didn't have any emotion, like raised without emotion, raised without a family, raised in bitterness, raised in anger, in rage, in all kind of hatred. So I could not feel anything like pity, like mercy and what.
So when you killed them, you did it by spiritual means, obviously,
yeah.
attacking them in dreams, sicknesses, all sort of things, and they knew they were in a battle with you,
with me, because now they know another prince is rising, has to destroy the others. So they attack, you attack, and then if you are able to destroy them, let them when they die, then you take over the territory. So I took that territory for only 2 years. After 2 years, I had finished my assignment, and then I am made to be a trainer
of other witches,
or whoever wants to be trained.
Trained in anything,
in occult,
in occultism,
in astral projections, in what.
So by this time you're 9.
I'm 9. So I'm now beginning to be a trainer. As I said that. My mother, though she had that mental problem, she kept thinking that she can break this and I become a normal child. By the way, I'm also going to school at the same time.
You were schooling? Yes. Well, how are you relating to all the other children? Because you said earlier that no one wanted to play with you.
Yes, but my mother took me to school. And I remember most of my teachers in the earlier years, I could be in school like thrice or 4 times in a term. But surprisingly, all my school up to university, I was always the best. But I was not attending classes. I could not attend classes, but I knew like I could go and write my exams and be the best without attending classes.
Wow.
And I can't tell how. So I could, as a child, I want to be, there's a part of me always that longed to be a child. Even when I grew up and I became born again, I find so attached to children than there's like a baby in me still longing to be a child, because I missed that as a child. I missed that as a baby. I didn't have that love. So it's like there's a part of me, a part of my life that was skipped. And it's not only me. I believe I've found many people in my ministry of deliverance that their child was robbed out.
Their childhood was robbed from them.
Yes. Yeah. And I know some people watching right now, that may be one of the issues you're dealing with, that your child, a part of you was trapped as a child. They mean that
by rape, by abuse,
by trauma, exposure to witchcraft, death, accidents, and all this. And when your child is taken away robbed from you, you may find it hard to function in an adulthood unless the Lord can trace back the moment